Nokia Lumia 920, which we just announced today with Nokia. This is Nokia's flagship Windows Phone device running Windows Phone 8. So there's a few things I like to talk about the hardware first. The first is the screen. So this display is the brightest display that you'll find. It's actually twice as bright as its next competitor. So they like to measure that in something called nits. This is 600. The next competitor is at 300 nits. So what that translates to is amazing outdoor readability in bright sunlight. Most people you'll see when they use their phone are kind of looking for shade. You don't need to do that with this phone. It also has a polarizing filter on here, which helps cut down on that glare. The second thing about this display is its high resolution. So most people define high resolution as 720p or better. This is a WXGA, which is 1248 by 768. So you're better than
Is that the new standard for Microsoft?
I'm sorry.
Is that the new standard for Microsoft?
It's not, but it's now available. So what we've done is, with Windows Phone 8, is we now allow more resolutions. So that gives the device manufacturer more choices. Sorry, that's really hard to hear. It's a high resolution, super bright, and it's
And the
got
curved screen.
What's that?
The curved screen.
The curvature on the display.
I love that. Yeah.
And it's got the clear black technology, so it's AMOLED. But what that does is it gives you better battery life. So when you look at the blacks, no energy is running through those pixels, which means it's not wasting battery life. But it's got a 2,000 milliamp battery, so it's going to last you the whole day. To complement that great screen, it's the amazing Peer View camera. So it's a little different than the Peer View on that they announced earlier as far as megapixel goes. That one. What's different about this one is it's got a very wide aperture. So it's 2.0 on the aperture. But typically what happens when you have a wide aperture is more light gets in, which is great. But it also adds focus problems. It makes very blurry photos because more light that comes in and can't compensate. So what they've done with this lens is they surrounded it in an array of springs, and they tie that to the gyroscope. As you move, the lens is actually adjusting for that movement, which lets you take amazing photos. So where it really benefits you are high-speed photos and low light photos. So I'm going to show you a couple examples. So this was a photo we took downtown at 11 o'clock at night. Right. So this was taken with the competitor's phone using the flash.
No, that's the other one.
What's that? Yeah. So you can see it's picking up some detail, but not a whole lot. This is the same photo taken with our phone, the Lumia 920.
A lot of detail.
A lot of detail. You can see it's picking up pieces in the background, picking up the light, even the grass. So you can take amazing photography with this camera, and that's why it got the Peer View name, which is a serious thing at Nokia. So great camera. We've also added something called lenses. So this is a Microsoft enhancement that now partners can take advantage of. Lenses. So I'm going to open the camera. And what you'll see is a new button down here. When I click on that, you can now apply treatments to it. So, have you heard of HDR before? You can get a lens that does HDR that lets you take a composite of a lot of different images for great clarity. This is kind of a fun one. It's called Cinematograph. And so, what it does is it lets you create these animated photos. I'll show you an example of one. So I'm going to go back to my photos. Static image, but when I open it up in that lens, here's what happens. What it does, it's like stop motion. It freezes the background, but it lets you choose different parts of the photo to animate. So it's a really fun way to do that.
Will you be able to like email that to someone?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. You can send the photo out.
What you want to animate.
You can control what's animated. site. So you can do it anonymously, or you can do it with the login. That's exactly right. You don't have to find out where to send it. It's really easy to use. The other thing that we built, that Nokia built right with the phone, is wireless charging. So if you look around, you see these little pads that you can just set your phone on, and it will automatically charge wirelessly without plugging anything in. So the benefit there is easy to use, easy to charge, without moving things around. So they've got a whole array of that stuff. It's really cool stuff. You should go check that out.
Is that going to be like a durable phone though? Like, I mean, that glossy, is there going to be like scratched?
This is a polycarbonate plastic, and what that means is through and through, it's yellow plastic. And so if you scratch it up, it's not
It has a
going to.
layer, yeah.
It's going to stay the same color. It's not going to show the damage.
So is it LED or xenon flash?
This is LED.
LED? Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah.